running the game and adding new textures to it. Designers testing the game by adding a new vehicle or tweaking the raid. Marty, C. Paul, and Jay are testing the game by tweaking audio. It's people sitting at their desk doing work, testing our game.
The emphasis on tests definitely comes from the top.
The studio manager for Bungie right now is Harold Ryan, who was the test manager for Halo 1 and Halo 2.
You can never test enough. We have a dedicated test team in the studio that works on the project from the first day we start on it.
Here, it's a much more methodical, professional approach to testing.
A lot of times you'll find the testers know some of the systems better than the engineers do.
Harold understands exactly what tests can do, and he has high expectations.
Jamie is definitely a Padawan test manager. He has not yet earned his stripes.
Love my job. Yay, are you hiring? For the lifetime of Halo 3, we have like 30,000 bugs in the database, of which 27,000 of them are fixed, but still we have 3,000 bugs that are active in the database while we're adding hundreds of bugs per day from the test team, and it's only going to go up.
It takes about 3 years of testing to test a game, about 20 days of which the game's actually tested outside of Bungie's building.
Microsoft has a group of people devoted to doing user research.
It's called usability testing. We actually run one participant at a time.
Now it's time to get out of here. Ooh, I think he's got me.
It's all about getting inside the player's head.
The whole user research team is a bunch of PhDs in psychology that sort of map out people's experience.
We're looking at how the user feels about this level or that level of that vehicle.
I like how smart these things are. It doesn't do the same thing over and over again.
There's a completely different experience for a designer actually watching other people play the game.
I think I need to go in that cave.
Okay. Everybody? Nope.
Being able to stand there with a notepad and just write things down is just totally invaluable.
Even though there's one-way glass in between us and them, you still have to be careful, because if you laugh too loud, it goes right through the glass, and then they can tell that you're laughing.
I want to welcome you guys for today's playtest session. We're not testing you guys, we're testing the game.
The other kind of testing that we do is called playtesting, and that's where we try and get a broader sample. When you get 80% of the people with some type of problem, well, then you know you have more of an issue.
I take them very seriously, but our playtests are incredibly painful. I've seen people get stuck in one encounter for 10 minutes. You almost are apologizing. Dude, I'm so sorry. Oh, turn right. Please, turn right now.
When we were playtesting the Halo 1 tutorial, we had people getting so frustrated that they just wanted to quit and go home. We had several people ask to stop playing, which is kind of embarrassing as the designer.
We get so much data from testing, not just what's broken and what's buggy, but we get a lot of data about what's fun and what's not fun.
Can the cameras?
You've been punked. There is no Halo 3.
Oh, no.
For Halo 3, we've basically instrumented the entire game. Almost immediately after a playtest, we'll get data that will tell us things that are going to frustrate or confuse or irritate a player.
Just kind of the 6 high-level things that we're collecting on playtest. The fun is up.
So we have a number of ways of representing the data, and the most significant one is to show it visually on a map. It's a multiplayer level showing all the spots where people die. If it's a single-player level, showing all the parts where people said they were frustrated.
If we're confused, you can actually click on a data point and it will load up a film of that person and how they died.
Yeah.
You want to maximize the amount of time the player's having fun.
It's really a difficult thing to do, to make it okay that you die a couple times, but not too many times.
We do a lot of playtests to make sure that everybody else is having fun, but really I only know that it's fun when I'm having fun.
As you're closing a game out, you go through the difficult process of having to decide what things you want to fix, that we call triage. Every time you fix a bug, you have the potential to create many more bugs.
Triage, or Joe calls it blood-sucking vampire whore.
It's like taking a hammer and hammering nails through your... Never mind.
Films are not displaying the multiplayer flashing name when using a headset.
Mislabeled territories on Valhalla. This is insane.
We just gotta power through it because it takes forever. We've already been up here an hour and a half and we just want to finish. And it makes us all good friends too.
We always leave these meetings wanting to kill each other.
Exactly. I like you though. I don't like that guy, but I like you.
A lot of times, design and test are sort of at loggerheads.
The artists and designers are never done. There's always one more thing that could tweak.
We just need to figure out how to get more reinforcements in more ways, add more cover.
You're just shoveling in content. and it's very difficult to keep it bug-free.
Sometimes new code slips in that we don't know about, and that causes me to be a little bit less smiley faced. Like, what? What are you guys doing? Why did you add this?
My job is to make the game more fun, whereas the test team looks at it, their job is to make sure the game is stable. If I'm completely happy, then it means we shouldn't have made the change because it was too risky. And if test is completely happy, then we probably aren't making enough changes. But if we're both sort of unhappy, that's usually the best state.
If the developer guys didn't put bugs in, we wouldn't have jobs. But luckily enough, the dev guys put a couple bugs in there, and I feel like I have the best job security of the bunch.
Once again.
We take a lot of effort to make sure the game is stable, that the game is fun, and that at least 90% of the people out there, they'll have a good time playing it.
There are a couple of crashes that we won't be able to figure out that we'll blame on solar flares or space aliens.
As long as the game doesn't set your house on fire, all the imperfections, I'm perfectly fine with it going out the door.
You never want to let it go. You always want to iterate on it. But if we really believe it's not ready to go out the door, it won't go out the door.